How y'all doing today? Um, for a long time, I've been wanting to make a video like this. Um, you know, a lot of things been going on. A lot of signs and signals has been coming through my life lately, and I feel like today, at this certain moment, I feel like that there's something I have to get off my chest that I went through when I was 8 years old, and that I've seen a lot, but it's not really talked about, you know. So I'm gonna talk about when I saw the when I died and saw the afterlife, and what I saw during that time I was in the afterlife, and maybe some of you will come out with your um, stories that you went through with something like this as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to it. First I want to say my name's Tajery Dixon McDaniel, and I'm 23. And about 15 years ago, I was 8 years old, and um, this is like and I'm not very. This is my first time ever making a video like this, so I'm sorry if I'm like not the best at it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my best I can. But I was like 8 years old, and my mom was just tucking me in, what she do every night, and and I'm gonna try to try the best to be as accurate and clear as possible, and chronicle as possible too. But anyways, I was like 8 years old. My mom's tucking me in, as she usually do, and so I went to sleep, and then I wake up in the middle of the night with like a bad headache, like the front lobe of my brain head was just like throbbing in sheer pain, like the worst pain I've ever imagined, like had, or can imagine then and now. Like that was just a bad pain, sheer pain. And my mom had ran to the door frame. I remember she was in the door frame, and she was like, "What's wrong, Sugar? What's wrong?" That's what she called me, Sugar. What's wrong, Sugar? And I was just in so much pain. I was just like, biting my teeth, like it was just so much pain. And then next thing you know, I remember I like a long gasp. It was like, and then next thing you know, I was like, it was just like, and then next thing I remembered, I was like in a dark place. Um, it was dark. You couldn't really see nothing. You couldn't even see your hands and your none of your You just couldn't see nothing. It was just pitch black dark. And I could hear like people whimpering, other people whimpering and stuff, like scared. They didn't know what was going on or what was gonna happen, or I don't know. But I was shocked, because it just happened just like that, and I was like in a whole totally different place, I just it was like a transfer, like I was just like gone, and so I was there, and then next thing you know, a man comes up to me, um, and I think he kind of looked like he looked at, if I can remember the best I can, he looked at like some kind of like uh kind of like a paper or some kind of thing, and then he looked at me, and then he said, "Do you want to see heaven and hell?" And then I said, not knowing what's going on, I just said, "Yeah." So we started walking, and as we started walking more and more, it was like it was like I would just how it appeared. It was like a portal just opened up, kind of. Or like it's just like as we just kept walking, like like we just reached like this little um kind of like a cave like thing, like we just entering another part of this like it just like came up, and so as I was as we was walking through, I was holding the man's hand, and um, we walked in. I it was light, but there was like no lights because there's no lights. You know what I'm saying? I think like the fire was giving it the light or something. It was like a cave like thing. It was like an underground cave or something. And we walked in. First thing I seen was like a long line of people, and as we was walking closer and closer, or like more inside of the cave like thing, the people, as I was looking at the people, they were looking at me as like if like a kid was walking through somewhere he ain't never been, like people, you know what I'm saying? It was just like they was looking at me and I was looking at them. So as I kept walking more inside, I it was just a long line. And so eventually we stopped, right? And so we stopped, and then next thing you know, we stopped, and I see like feet, you know what I'm saying? And they're like reddish kind of looking feet. And then I I start to look up, and then the more I look up, I see there's a throne, a big chair, like a big throne, huge throne, like real tall. And then um I kept looking up, and it was like, I would just keep looking up slowly and slowly, and then I'll see like the legs and then the kneecaps, and then kept on going and going, and then like this thing was like it was like this thing was like huge, you know what I'm saying? It was like a person. It was like a person that was like real fit, skinny, nothing but muscle, and like tall. Like it was like this thing was like, I would say over 10 feet tall. And so I kept looking up. I don't remember the face, what it looked like, but I know it had, I knew it had horns. You know what I'm saying? And uh, so I believe that was the devil on his throne. And so uh, I was just like in awe. You know what I'm saying? At 8 years old, I was in awe. And uh, right beside him was like this kid. It was like some kind of like little uh it was like some kind of like blonde hair, kind of like little kid or something, and he was like rubbing like a pet, you know what I'm saying? Like like kind of like um petting his head, on one side. And I never got that, you know what I'm saying? And then Uh, I remember uh, not too long ago, I saw like they was making statues, like something about they was making statues around the world of like some kind of like statue of like a devil type statue, and it had like two kids on the side, and I wondered because you know they were trying to cover up, like saying that it was like some kind of like statue or something, like nothing like too real or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some kind of like like some kind of cover up to say that's not, it don't mean nothing as of like demonic or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I remember seeing it, and I looked it up on Google and I saw the same thing with, but it had two kids, and what I saw uh when I was in hell was like it was only one kid. He had one kid, and he was patting it on his on the kid's head. So then we was walking back, me and the man, and I was holding his hand, you know. So we was walking back, and then I saw out on the other side, I saw like a lake of fire, and when when they say like a lake of fire, it's actually like a lake of fire. Like it's like a lake, it has the bank, whatever, like let's say, like it's like a real lake, like the one you go out and fish, you catch fish and stuff. It's like a real lake, and it's a lake of fire, like it's a real lake of fire. So and I can't really say that I didn't have no kind of like feeling or like I didn't have no feeling of like hotness or any kind of smell, nothing like that. I just didn't have that those senses, I don't know if that's just because I don't know, but like any other um person that I've heard about their stories, they always, most of them say like they had like a rotten smell or you know the hotness and stuff. But I don't know, maybe because I was 8 and I wasn't supposed to, you know, go through all that. I guess through my experience, I guess, but I don't know. But anyways, we were walking out, me and the man, and then I guess I had to go. It was next. It was time to see heaven. So what I remember was uh I was in my body, and then I remember um I was like levitating off up my body, like it was me, and I was like, it was like my soul, me, and I was like levitating up from my body, and during this whole thing, like I didn't, I was in hell, and I was in my body, and I was rising up, but when I was rising up, like I could see my mom, and she was still on the door frame looking at me, and I'm looking at my mom looking at me, and I'm looking at me, and I'm still like in the bed and stuff. So I'm rising up, and I'm still rising up, you know, and it was just like real slow rising up and stuff. And then next thing I pop up, and I'm in heaven, and me and the man was still holding my hand, and so we walked. It was like the ground was like cloud light, and it was really bright. It was real bright. You know what I'm saying? It was just bright everywhere. Um, really, really bright. Like I can't explain how bright it really was, but it's the brightest as you ever like. It's real bright. So we arrived to these gates, and they're like golden, They were tall. They're like real. They're tall, real tall gates. They were golden. And as we got close to him, I remember this lady came up to me. And she said, "He's so cute, you know." And she gave me a hug, you know. And when she gave me that hug, it felt like it was nothing but love in it. You know what I'm saying? Like she gave me a hug, and I couldn't do nothing but smile and hug her and stuff. And it was like really, it was like a lot of love in it. You know, it's just so peaceful and loving and stuff. And then but right before I had met the lady when she like met us at the gate, I remember peeking in the gate, you know, and I could see like people and a crowd of people, and they was like in white gowns or like yeah, they were like in white gowns or like they're like it was like yeah, it's like white gowns or some type of like their body was covered like in a white type of cloth or something like that. And they all look young, you know what I'm saying? Like probably like early 20s, 1920s, you know what I'm saying? They look young and fit, you know, real healthy. And the whole time they were just they were just talking, conversating, having a good time, you know, just real happy. Just having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Like let's say you're at a good little event or something like that. Like they were just like real peaceful and happy and having a good time and talking and conversating and just enjoying, you know, enjoying the time. And so, you know, the lady she hugged me. She said I was she said, "Oh, he's so cute. Can we keep him?" And the man who was holding my hand through the whole process, he told the lady, "No, uh, we can't keep him, but he'll be back soon." And then that's when I like kind of woke up, and I think that's when I woke up in the hospital, or I woke up and I was like in the ambulance. I'm not sure, but yeah, and it's weird because I never really remembered the story. Like I really never remembered it through life, and then out of nowhere it started like coming back to me, and I like you know I was going through a lot after I graduated, and that's probably gonna be another video, but I've been having signs, and I've been having this thought of like doing this, and I've been seeing like people's stories lately, and so this kind of made me want to do my own story. So or like show tell my story of what I went through and my experience, and I just want to tell everybody that it's real, you know, and that life is no joke, you know, and there's evil out there that wants to they really that they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? They don't do anything just to make sure you don't go to heaven. And that, you know, you need to be aware and like it's no joke for real. It's serious, man. Life's no game for real. But just want to let everybody know that that's my story, and I hope I touch somebody, or I hope somebody sees this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get 5, 10, or 105,000 views, but I hope at least one person sees this and really listens and know that this is real. All right, y'all stay blessed.